Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Black Dragon Biker TV. Hey, listen, we're going to be talking about support clubs today. We get a lot of calls from folks that are unhappy with their support club arrangement. And a lot of reasons people join support clubs. They're like what I call traditional support clubs, which are the standard ones that have always been part of these MC nations, like our feeder clubs for the MCs. But recently, in the past several years, more and more clubs have been forced into the support role or coaxed into it or offered the support role that they really didn't know what they were getting into, didn't understand it, and weren't ready for all of the things that come with it. So we are hearing from clubs that are just kind of ready to move on or whatever the case may be. So we thought we'd do this video about that today. We thought we'd take that on as a subject, and it definitely could be heated, definitely controversial. This is one of those things that they don't really talk about in public so much, but privately people talk about it a lot, especially folks that are in a situation that they're trying to get out of. So we are going to be talking about support clubs, and I believe the name of this show today was, let me get to it. Name of the show today actually is, the hidden cost of being a support club and when it's time to walk away. So we'll talk about that and this morning in 1 minute and 7 seconds, right after this brief introduction, the hidden cost of being a support club and when it's time to walk away. Myself and my co-host will be tackling this. Thanks for tuning in since 2016. We'll be right back in 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Black Dragon Biker News. It's on YouTube. Black Dragon Biker News. Get yourself educated by his books and you'll learn how to move. Black Dragon Biker News. He covers it all. So click on the screen, hit subscribe and get updated Biker News with MC Protocol. A lot of phonies popped up when this YouTube Biker News craze came about, but the man on this channel is the first to do it and the only one that never sold out. His name is Black Dragon. Part of the Navy and hit the ski, repping Uncle Sam. They traded that uniform for the best from the mighty Black Sabbath. Not the band, I'm talking about the mighty Black Sabbath. MC, we're paid his dues and the artist stripes. From prospect all the way up to national peace. All the copycat creators and the content stealers and haters. There have been many, but there's only one larger than life. Like Michael with the cowboy hat that knows kung fu and says kick Kenny. Black Dragon Biker News. He's on YouTube. Black Dragon Biker News. Just self-educated by his books and you learn how to move. Black Dragon Biker News. He covers it all. So click on the screen, hit subscribe and get updated Biker News with MC Protocol.
Alrighty then. Hey, welcome to Black Dragon Biker News Network. The Biker News Network with Biker News you can use, Biker News you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world you happen to be. Please allow me to introduce my co-host, as we are the only Biker News and MC Protocol channel in the entire world to have our very own Dr. Logic in the house.
What's going on, Black Dragon? What's going on, everyone in the chat room? I just put that chat, that chat in there. Yeah, what's going on, everybody?
Say what?
I said, what's going on, everybody? I was typing what up chat room while you was giving my intro, so that's why I just put it in the chat. What up, everybody? You know.
Good morning, man.
It's a great morning, man. Good God morning.
99% of the people here are not part of a support club, nor will they ever be. So why talk about this? Boy, Strong Brave.
Dang, that's right off the bat, bro.
It's good to see you, Strong Brave.
Okay, show's over, guys. Okay,
Yeah, he always, Strong Brave.
Show's over. Hey,
stays in my ass. I don't even know why he tunes in, but he's here. Thank you for being here,
bro. Show's over. You know, 99% of the people right here are not in female clubs either. I mean, I'm like, we can't talk about females.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole lot that 99% of the people ain't doing. Wow. Ouch.
That's funny. I mean, that's right off the flop, bro. That's the first.
Hey, but listen, we let everybody get their comments in. It is yeah. Listen, we're a biker news and MC protocol channel, so we talk about everything. Oh wow. You're going to talk about how Atlanta has been on 99% extortion since has been a 99% extortion site since the 70s.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know if since the 70s.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means that the 99%ers get extorted here by the 1%ers.
I mean, heck, that should have came up yesterday then.
What?
When we was talking about blackballing and black,
Maybe they weren't on yesterday. But they're punching hard this morning. Damn. No, we're not going to talk about how Atlanta is.
Look here. I want to give a shout out right now. My boy, Reginald Neal. He didn't change his name. It's Tron on the bike set. Tron. Hey, Tron, I just wanted to let you know that yesterday you wasn't on. But behind the scenes, this dude right here challenged me to a battle. And so I hit him up. I didn't hit him with the D-rap, bro. He's in Atlanta with you, Black Dragon. He's in Atlanta. And I was trying to tell him, look here. He said, nope. I was trying to tell him who was the coldest MC on the South Side back in our days. I was trying to tell him. He didn't know. And so I hit him up. And then I said, you still want to battle? He said, no. And I'm old.
What? Brutus, stop that.
He ain't saying no. He must be typing something. Tell him he don't want none of this. He don't want.
You know something? You and I are gonna rap battle. Okay, that's it. We're gonna do it because I'm tired of you right now.
I have a whole repertoire. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I was this close to that contract.
How are you going to challenge a pastor while a rapper that became a pastor? That's just crazy. How are you going to challenge a rapper that became? Listen, he hit me with some bars yesterday, and I shut the hell up. It was like I was like, oh.
That's my boy right there. Anytime you see him on that, if there's anyone,
what's up, Tron? Good to meet you, man. You need to stop by the Dragon's Lair out here, man.
You know how we use the word "no" and "friend," and I tell you, not that many people know me. I don't call everybody friend. That joker right there, since we was 8 years old, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since we was 8 years old.
This thing kicking up is going to get them a diamond when they get half of APD. When they got half of the APT as their cabinet. Oh, wow. Boy, it's getting nasty. Nasty in here. Who said that? Outside hourly. Boy, it's getting nasty in here. Anyway, Black
Dragon came up with the title, y'all, so don't come after me.
That's what Lavish said this morning. Yeah, welcome back to Black Dragon Biker TV. Today, we're tackling a topic that's quiet in public but loud in private conversations, the real responsibilities and dangers of being a support club to a 1% dominant. A lot of clubs jump into the support status thinking it's just colors, rides, and respect. But once you're in, the rules can change. Mandatory runs, show up, or pay fines. Hidden fees, dues to the dominant, event contributions, etc. And sometimes you're expected to back the dominant in situations that maybe cross lines. shady deals, conflicts, even violence you never signed up for. We've heard the stories. One, a support club forced to ride into rival territory during wars they had no part in starting, or maybe just riding over there by accident. And here you are in trouble that you never started because you got that cookie on. Restricted from riding to certain roads or attending certain events because it's hot on the block right now. Or one club told, back us up or lose your colors, putting freedom and safety on the line. Then comes the hardest part. What if you decide I want to leave? We want to leave as a support club. When a support club decides the cost is too high and wants to go independent, or they don't like the treatment they're getting, or maybe they didn't get backed up when they thought they were supposed to. But trying to leave can be tough. The dominant often doesn't let go easily. Threats, intimidations, forced talks, or worse, striking out on your own can turn dangerous fast. So is the price of earning respect? Is this the price of earning respect, or has the support system become something it was never meant to be? So today we'll discuss some things like what support really means in 2026, unspoken rules and risks, how clubs navigate leaving without burning bridges or getting burned. If you're live or if you've lived this, support club dominant or independent, you can call us in or get on here and leave your comments, as I see folks are doing, as we get into it. So welcome to the show. I don't think they have this problem in South Africa. We got Chucky on. I don't think they go through this in South Africa. So in the beginning, and we're seeing a lot of this that we've seen and we hear, and this was talked about at the Proc last year. I was ready to say some people need to realize that there's just some things you don't talk about in route that sound like that's going to whatever they need to sit down and be quiet. Damn, I'm at the doctor's and can't listen in. That's too bad, Jerry. We saw this, and this was talked about last year. A lot of clubs the support club thing kind of changed. I want to say maybe, I don't know, maybe 7-10 years ago, maybe, where it became, and especially on the black side, it became this thing that you couldn't even start your motorcycle club up or social club or riding club in some instances unless you decided to become a support club of the dominant of that area. So support clubs, in my view, were traditionally feeder clubs, and they were set up and they were true brother clubs to the 1% clubs that they belonged to. They were true brother clubs. Like you probably couldn't even tell these clubs apart. And something began to happen, maybe as early as 2009, especially here on this coast. We started seeing this thing where dominant clubs started collecting support clubs up. And they didn't necessarily. So these I would call, they wore support patches, but these are not what I would call traditional support clubs. These were a little bit different. They didn't have quite the same requirements, particularly, but they were they had other requirements like maybe they paid dues, or maybe they would support by showing up to the events or other things that were put on them that they needed to do, but they weren't really necessarily considered like the go-to support club. If you had a problem and you were going to call them and they were going to stand as soldiers, because that's not what they were. Especially like a social club. And it was crazy when I first started seeing like social clubs with support patches on. Then I started seeing RCs with support patches on. Then I started seeing truck clubs and car clubs with these support patches on. So I was like, wow, the support thing is really taken on some very interesting meanings. And so I've seen it kind of develop out over the past 10 years or maybe even 15. And it's a completely different atmosphere than than I saw when I was coming up. We barely even saw support clubs. So when the guy says 99% of the folks on here ain't in support clubs, I would say, you're wrong as hell, because in so many areas right now, you can't even get on the set unless you agree to be some level of a support club.
Can I ask a question? And I know you your history in Black Sabbath. And this may not be a question that can be answered, but when you are new to the set, you have a new club, and it's open for new clubs. I was taught you have two ways to go. You can either go the dominant way, or you can go the what you call it, the organizational way. Here we got the chain. Other place they got they got different things. You can go either way. Now, if you decided to go not the dominant way, not go through the dominant, you go through your local coalition. That's the word I was looking for. And they whatever they put you through, how long they tell you to wait, wear soft colors, whatever. You don't have to put on a support patch if you go that way. That's what I'm learning.
If you do what now? I'm sorry.
If you say I'm a new club coming on to the motorcycle in the motorcycle set, and I go through the local coalition, I don't go through my local dominant. And the local coalition say, yeah, you can come through here if it's allowed in that area. And you go through there, you got to do this, that, and the other, whatever the requirements are. And you make it through, but you put on the coalition patch, not a dominant patch.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go through a dominant. Now, my question is, if you know, and if there's any dominants out there that knows, if you went through the dominant, do you automatically become a support club, or is it an option?
No, you don't, because there are two ways to come in. There are many ways to come in an area. Okay, because one way is to just pop up, and we're here. That is a way, and some people do that, and some people do it successfully. Fewer, but there's a couple ways to come into a place, and one of those ways is to come through the coalition. The other way is to go directly to the dominant. If you're an old established club, like my club, you could. What we mostly did was we just went straight to the dominant. Well, especially if you have a dominant that you work with a lot. Okay, so they blessed you over here. You say, hey, we want to go to you bless us in Atlanta. We want to go to North Carolina. Oh yeah, we'll call our bros there. You get a good relationship. That's kind of really how you cross over. But there are times that you'll hit an area where that doesn't exist, and the area will kind of let you know how you have to come in. Some areas, mostly it's a COC. Other areas, it's the dominant. But the dominant of an area can always bless you into that area. And a strong MC can go straight to a dominant and be like, hey, we want to come in this area. And it can happen that way. That is how we did it mostly. But
they don't have to necessarily be a support club.
You are not, you will not necessarily have to be a support club, especially if your club doesn't do that. And there are things you got to work out. I mean, there's especially when you come into closed areas. So you can always enter a closed area if you put on a support patch. I have never not seen someone not be able to come into a closed area. We're not taking any more clubs. Well, we'll put on a support patch. Welcome. Come on in. Come right on in. But is that a real support club? If I am a dominant MC, I don't trust they ass. You want to be here and you're willing to put on a support patch, but do I really trust you? Or you want a patch so bad you'll put on a support patch? I don't see how you could really trust those people. So in that case, then it's really just kind of like for show. and for numbers, and you
Are
wind
they
up,
vetted just like, are they, that's a good question. I'm glad you said that. Is a club that's a potential support club vetted just like you would have your prospect to come into a club? What if I wanted to be a support club of this dominant?
you
I
know,
want to be, they
I
looking
don't
at me like,
see-
well, I don't know if you're gonna make the cut. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see a lot of vetting going on.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just asking, you know.
I don't see a lot of vetting going on. I see a lot of rules put down, and you pay your money. But if you're not, hey, if they don't trust you as a real support club, and they put a support patch on you, but they know they don't trust you. I mean, they don't need to vet you. They know they don't trust your ass. You're going to follow these rules and pay this money and show up where you need to show up and ride where you need to ride.
Right.
And the minute that you're not doing that, you're going to be fined and this, that, and the other. So vetting. They don't need to vet you. They're not fixing to let you know nothing that you need to be vetted for, and you'll earn your support. You'll earn your trust over years or whatever the case would do. Holgrain says, Trucker says, my first club was a support club. We never wanted a diamond, but it was all types of chaos when we made it clear we didn't want to patch over. So yeah, there always becomes chaos when the support club decides to stand up like a man and make a decision that goes against the bosses. Outside Hourly says, real men stand on biz, know that you can say no in every room you're in. The other ones wear cookies. I don't necessarily agree with that. Some people don't really understand. And I'll give you, I didn't understand. The first time, so we were a brother club to a 1% club. When I was growing up in the nation in San Diego, we were actually brother clubs. So when I came over here to this coast, I had never even heard of a support club in my life. I didn't even know what the hell that was. And now I was president of Atlanta, and the dominant club approached and asked, "Hey man, why don't you become a support club?" And I called the founder of the Black Sabbath Nation, and I was like, "Father, they want us to become a support club." And he thought, like I thought, we were going to be brother clubs. And I was like, he was like, "Yeah, it sounds good to me." So the father gave me permission. And so I said, "Yeah, we'd be interested, love to be your support club," not knowing what the hell a support club was. And I said, "So, yeah, you give us your patches and we'll give you our patches." And that guy started laughing. He said, "What the hell do you mean?" No,
that's not how this works.
What the hell do you mean? Because we wore Brotherhood patches with that 1% club in California.
Oh, so y'all exchanged patches, like the small ones.
We had Brotherhood. They wore ours and we wore theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were brother clubs.
Okay.
So I thought we was getting ready to be brother clubs. You know, it was going to be beautiful.
Like, yo, Doc, that's not how this work over here, bro.
With one of the baddest clubs there was. So I was like, "Oh yeah, man." So they were like, the guy started laughing, and he said, "No, we don't wear your patches." And I was like, "Well, then what the hell kind of brotherhood is that?" Like, I was dumbfounded. Like they say, I'm from the soft neighborhood. I'm not from the streets, is what they say. So the soft neighborhood in me was like, "What is he talking about?" And and then there was this guy who the guy who actually I give all credit and love to for actually getting me restarted in the motorcycle club life, because I had left for a while. And his name was Guns, and Guns explained to me what a support patch was, and what being a supporter was, and it was not nothing. Like, okay, so there are some support clubs that are brotherhood clubs, but there are some support clubs that are subsidiary clubs and secondary kind of clubs. So this was not a brotherhood patch. This was a you support us and do what we say do patch. And now I had only agreed in principle, like this is no paperwork was signed, no hands were shook or anything like that. So I go back to the guy now that I know what a support club is. So we could have been a support club and never even known that was what was going on until it was too late. And it was almost too late, because when I went back to the guy and said, hey, I now know what a support club is, and bro, I'm not. We don't do that.
That's not what we want to do.
We're not. Yeah, we're not doing that. And I was like, man, there is no way in hell we're doing that. And then the guy got a little, not nasty. He never got nasty, but he got firm. Well, I've already told my bros that's what you're going to do, like that. And I was like, I have faith in you that you can go back and tell them something different. And that worked that time. It worked. And so after learning, and that was about 6 months before I became national president. So I had been in my motorcycle club almost 20 years. I'd been in my club a long time. But San Diego was a small set, the black set in San Diego, which is what I rode on, was a small set at that time. I'd never even heard of a support club. I didn't even know what the hell they were. And so you don't necessarily know. It's not necessarily that the real guys, only the weak guys wear cookies. That's not necessarily so. So I've seen guys join clubs that they didn't even know were support clubs when they join. That's not something they explain. Hey, come to our Brotherhood. That's what they're selling, their Brotherhood. They might not even think about it. Oh, by the way, we're a support club to one of the baddest clubs in the nation, and we got enemies all over the place. They might not even be thinking like that. Can you explain the difference between a support club and Brotherhood club? So, did you feel like I did? Okay, good. Thank you.
The last one. Well, not the last one anymore. 1126.
1126. Okay.
Yeah, you way behind.
John Bunch number 1. Is it okay to have crotch rockets and cruisers in an MC?
That's not what I told you to go to, but go ahead.
I'm trying to get them in order. Yes, it's okay to have crotch rockets in an MC if the bylaws allow it to be so. Okay, 1126. This is 1119.
They moving too. They coming.
Are they coming? Let me try to catch up. Some clubs wear pins instead of support patches. Yes, Bolo. They may be an area thing, but I thought that was worth mentioning. Yes, there are support pins as well, support patches as well. 1126. I'm trying to get there. 1126. And I do is that is this? No, this is 1124. That's exactly what happened with us. We thought we would be a brother club to them, but so this has happened to other people. Whole grain trucker. We thought we were going to be a brother club, and we found out it was a whole totally different thing. 1126. Getting the blessing means becoming support with or without a support patch. So
now, let me add something to that. When you answer that or comment on that, give us the definition between getting a blessing and getting sanctioned.
I don't know the difference in getting a blessing and getting a sanction. Aren't they the same thing?
I don't know. I've heard different.
I don't know that there is a difference. So here you go. Every club gets a blessing, even 1% clubs, or a sanction. I mean, I call it all the same thing. 1% clubs that go into a new area that do it peacefully, they sit down with the 1% clubs that are there. Is that a blessing, or is that a sanction, or is that an agreement? What term you want to use? I use blessing. That's the term I use.
And the reason why I said that,
have
because
some
of this
kind
comment.
of agreement if you're going to come into an area peacefully without war. Say what now?
That's why I made that comment, because when he said getting the blessing means becoming support with or without the support patch.
So
but my lesson was that a blessing doesn't necessarily constitute a support patch, but if you get sanctioned by a dominant, you wearing a support patch. I mean, that may be old thinking.
I've never heard that.
Okay.
I wouldn't agree with that because you can get a blessing and still have a support cloud or sanction. So what he's talking about is this. There are certain responsibilities that come with getting blessed by anyone for both the blesser and the blessee.
Mhm.
Okay. So if such and such 1% motorcycle club blesses me to ride in Florida, right? And such 1%er motorcycle club has a problem with it. The club that blessed me has a responsibility to tell that 1%er, we blessed them, leave them the fuck alone. All right. So that inherent responsibility, you're responsible for everybody you bless. I know this for a fact because Black Sabbath used to bless clubs, and we've had this come back on us. And there are 99% clubs that have blessed and maybe still bless clubs. So you are responsible for the clubs you bless, and to a certain point, they are responsible to you. There is a relationship that happens between a club that gets blessed. So like I say, you can go directly to a dominant. You will bear some responsibility if you go directly to a dominant. Not so much to the point of a support club, but for instance, you will see some really funny things like you get blessed by this 1%er, but you're always hanging out at that 1%er's club. And this 1%er is looking at you like, but you never come over and hang out with us and spend any money over here. So what the hell is going on? These are things to consider. You get blessed by a 1%er club in this area, and then you go over to that area and get blessed by their enemy. They can be looking at you real sideways, like what you doing, bro? They call those people fence riders.
Fence riders?
Yeah, riding the fence between one dominant and another, and it can work out very ugly for you. So nothing is free in this world. Keep that in mind. Chevy says there are levels of support. We support the dominant in the area, but we don't wear the support patch. But in return, they show up and support us. So that's just really kind of a little bit of what he was what Dialgolis. I don't even know how to say that word.
9580.
Yeah, 9580. This kind of, so what Chevy is saying is kind of bouncing on what 9580 is saying. So getting a bless means becoming a support without a patch, and to a certain degree, because Chevy comes in and says there are levels of support. And so these things are really kind of interesting. That how they kind of play together. It's all the politics that are that goes inside of this. So there's a lot that comes with getting a blessing. That's why some people would prefer to get blessed by the COCs. If you getting blessed by the COC, you don't necessarily have a particular dominant, although generally one dominant or another will be at the top of the COCs. But we also see COCs sharing, like the dominants will come together and make their agreements, and then that'll fall on the COC. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. That is the politics of being in a motorcycle club in an area. So there are, but then there are the people that join the support clubs for whatever the reason or however that comes about. And that comes with a whole lot of stuff that's even more prevalent, like mandatory runs. So a lot of times if you belong, so when you become a support club, you are part of the extended family. You become part of the family of that 1% MC. And so you are now identified as that 1% MC. You are part of them. You go where they go. You don't go where they don't go. You mess with who they mess with. They may put out something like, hey, oh, shoot. We don't like what Black Dragon is doing right now. And so you're not going to the Black Dragon party. None of our supports are going there.
Well, that bleeds right back to what we were saying yesterday.
What's that?
That blackball. We just said, and you said that don't happen anymore.
Yeah.
We don't like what's going on at the Dragon's Lair.
Y'all can't go over there.
So none of my support clubs can attend your enormous party.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to shut you down by not going.
And this is what happened to Marcel Big Cell Tillman.
No.
It is what happened.
But we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. No. Don't be sliding nothing like that in. No.
I didn't slide that one.
No, you slid that in. No. We ain't going there. What happened to Lavish? Where's Lavish?
He's not here. Let me say that's what happened to a guy.
No. We're talking about support club. So let me ask you a question.
How about that?
Let me ask you a question.
This happened before.
What if I don't want to be a part of your I don't want to support you no more because I don't like the direction you
hit me with chains like that. You can't.
Yes,
you can't spank me.
We're going on to point number 2.
Oh, I love you, preacher.
What happens if we do not want to be a support? My organization, when we came aboard, we wore your cookie. We was one chapter. Now I got 5 chapters, 5 different states, 120 members. We don't want to support anymore. What I do?
Now my God, that's the toughest one. And normally when I talk to you guys, I'm talking to you about stuff I've done. I try to talk it in my bailiwick. I try to talk in my wheelhouse, stuff I've done. Or stuff I've seen. So this is a stuff I've seen. I haven't done this. We've never been a support club. I don't know how to get in and out of that. I can tell you that I accidentally almost became a support club, and it was nasty energy leaving. It was nasty energy leaving, and I wasn't even in a support role yet. And the energy was nasty. It wasn't ugly. It wasn't but it was just like weird energy in the air. Like, man, he was not happy that I didn't want to be a support club. So I can only imagine. Oh my God. How tough it would be to leave as a support club. First of all, I know what happens when people leave my motorcycle club. Mm-hmm. We were best of friends, and now I don't talk to your ass no more. And someone says, well, you weren't really my friend. Mm-hmm. And I had to say, I'm not really your friend if you leave my motorcycle club. I might not really be your friend. Like I had that problem for a long time. If you left my motorcycle club, I'd be like mad at you. You're too good for us or something like that, and I wouldn't talk to you no more. It was a real problem. So just imagine, that's a human feeling that people have. Just imagine if you're a support club and you're trying to leave a 1% nation. You don't like us no more? We're not good enough for you no more?
Well, maybe we just grew out of what y'all got going on.
Oh, that's what you call it? I call it you're traitors.
I outgrew you.
No, you're traitors. You needed us to get in. You needed us to get in.
Yes.
But now you
our club has grown. We have chapters now that don't want to get down with the get down.
Grown. You got a mind? Somebody paid you to have a mind?
Well, first of all, I'm a grown man. First of all, I'm a grown.
Hey, we're not gonna
pay me to have a mind or nothing.
You what?
Only thing we do, we're coming with respect. We love you. We thank you for all.
You're gonna leave those colors here.
We could not be here if it wasn't for you. But we think that the trajectory of our organization is antithetical to where you are going. So we're coming respectfully to go. Now, if you don't like that, I understand. You have your prerogative of not liking that. But we're coming to you saying, can we come to a mutual agreement that will go on?
So you can see all the things that could go wrong. You can see. Big Bone is calling me. I wonder if Big Bone's trying
to. Say Logic doing all that talking. That's not how it's gonna happen.
You trying to be on the show, bro?
Tell him to come on.
Oh, he hung up. Maybe he wasn't trying to be on the show. Okay, he'll call back. But anyway, Big Bone was calling, so I thought maybe Big Bone had something to say. Maybe he was just calling me to talk to me about something else and didn't realize that I was on the show. Let me send him a message real quick. But you can see how ugly you can see how ugly it can be. I like you holding your line there. Hey, I'm a grown man. Now we're not going to talk to me too crazy.
All right. Hey.
I liked how you was holding your line there, but hey, not everybody can hold their line. Yeah, the call did drop, bro. Okay, so let me call you back. He sent me a message that the call dropped.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I share this with everybody. I shared it before. I can go a little bit deeper without telling everybody our business. When we first,
you want in on this?
When we first started as a ministry, I did go through the dominant. And we sat in front of the dominant and they threw and most of them I knew, but there was some that I didn't know. And they were throwing, I'm looking, I'm like, oh man, I mean, we ain't about that. That's why.
We're getting ready to get
I ain't always been a preacher, doc.
We're getting ready to get a 1% perspective because Big Bones Big Bones hadn't even heard none of the show yet. He just saw the link and called. Or he just saw the
logic. Once the U.S. occupies a territory, do they ever leave? You want me to answer that for real?
Yes.
That has nothing to do with this.
The answer is they do leave. Sometimes they leave
grudgingly.
Sometimes, begrudgingly. Sometimes they leave ugly, like we left Afghanistan and Vietnam running with our tails between our legs. And sometimes
she wasn't asking you. She was asking you. She asked logic. That says logic. That didn't say black dragon. That says logic. Because you was under the water. I was on land, and I seen us. He's trying to be like me, y'all.
I learned that from you.
Look, when we left Athens, our base was shared with the Greek Air Force Base. When we left Athens, we wasn't supposed to, but we destroyed those buildings. Even though there was their barracks and everything, we tore them down. We don't do that all the time. And I'm not privy to every time we leave an area, but I just know about that.
Where was that?
Huh?
Where was that?
In Athens, Greece.
Okay. Because I was trying to think about when we left the Air Force Base in the Philippines, but I don't think we tore that down. I think the mountain did that. I think there was a volcanic eruption that tore.
Is he coming on?
He said I sent him the thing. So
okay. Because it was his club that I went through.
Stephen Duncan, if you are a solid MC and rock a support patch, there is a chance that the dominant might try to patch your club over. So keep that in mind. So so that is part. So if you're a solid MC and wearing a support class, then you're in a brotherhood with that 1% MC. And one of the things that can happen, especially if all their guys get arrested or something, they may drop down and pull your club. They call it stepping you up. So you may be stepped up into the 1%erdom. And that
1%erdom.
Wasn't a support club for 5 years. Salute to the Black Barbies, where I started. All right, Kimberly Pinson, go ahead, girl.
Kimberly Pinson, where you from? And the reason why I asked where you from because
that's Barbies. We know.
No, I'm talking about her name because her last name. Your last name is my wife's maiden name. That's why I said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so she could be kinfolk.
Look, we had somebody in our house one time, and they went to go. He didn't have the same last name that we know of. Then when he heard my wife's last name, he like, where y'all from? And they started talking. I said, don't tell me y'all related, and they were related.
Wow. Hey, Sprite reminds us that
logic. Our dominant was 2 hours away. We started without them and became a support. 2 years later, we opened chapters in Indy and Missouri. And then they started inquiring about patching over. We didn't accept. So what did they do? No, don't tell me what they did.
He said chaos happened when they didn't. He said it was chaotic.
Yeah.
I sent him the link. I don't know where he is. I sent him the link.
But so until he comes on, because we'll probably loop around. So, do you have, or is it a protocol on how to leave a dominant and not want to wear their patch again? Let me say this because this is from experience and something that I know. He said, what's the easiest way to leave from becoming a support club? I took it as not just MC, but SC too. And I said, my answer was just take off your patch, not the support patch, just drop your colors and then start anew somewhere else. That's the easiest way. And you know what? There's no argument. That's the easiest way that I seen. So you know what? If y'all not going to let us out, then we're just all going to drop our colors. They can't make you stay a club.
So Kimberly's got it right here. Really tough. I left and attempted to start an MC, and the club I supported for all those years wouldn't back me up or speak for me. It was hurtful. So that might not.
But I still started my MC
in her case. But that might not be the easiest way, because she says it right here. Dropping your rags and say, okay, we're going to go start, but you're still the same people. And that club is still angry at you and may come down, like she said. And
well, what if you are you're in that 2 paths area? Okay, I'm not going to go through the dominant this time. I'm going to go through the coalition.
Well, the coalition is run by the dominant. Period.
Are they all run by the dominant? They
all are. They're run by one or a number of dominants.
Oh, okay.
And those dominants talk. And one dominant might be like, hey, Kimberly and them are starting up, but we're not letting them start up. And the rest of the dominants might be like, all right, okay, well, then they don't start up then.
Oh, okay.
That can happen.
Well, I didn't know that.
The COC, I have never seen a just like totally independent. Now, this is just what I've seen. I've never seen like a totally independent COC that runs complete. Maybe there are some out there. If there are, man, kudos, man. Y'all are bad.
Yeah, Stephen Duncan said dominant still run the show. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of COC presidents tell me, yeah, we run this here. This is not dominant controlled at all. And I just be like, man, stop it, man.
Because when I was told, I said, you have 2 different ways of coming aboard.
Hey,
there he is.
The esteemed Big Bone 1%er.
Hey, I'm innocent.
I'm
near that day.
What's going on, Big Bone 1%er?
Man, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, I see that Marine Corps stuff up there. I mean,
oh, freaking Rob. Oh yeah.
We'll forgive you. We will forgive you here.
But did you hear what we were saying there, Big Bone?
I didn't hear what was said, but I was reading the what do you call it? I was reading the show description.
The thumbnail. Okay. I'm not the thumbnail. Yeah, the description.
I was triggered.
Yeah. But let me say, I'm just gonna bring you up to date for what I just said. Before the show, Black Dragon asked me, what do you think is the easiest way to leave for a support club to leave from being in support of a dominant? And I said my opinion, because something I saw that happened a long time ago, it was with a social club. They just dropped their cuts. They just took the cuts off, and then they tried to start up again under a different name.
It's interesting. Stand by. I'm multitasking. All right. So, and that's a question. I mean, the first question, I guess, is how did we get there? But to answer the last question first, should it come to pass that a support club, for whatever reason, wants to, and basically what you're describing is a disassociation from the dominant of the area. You're not suggesting that they don't want to be a club anymore. You're suggesting
they want to put the support cookie down.
Right. And by the way, this is just a me thing. I hate that expression. I just really do always have. I've heard folks use it you know, I know the dominant club members that use that expression. It just always rubs me the wrong way.
Which expression was it?
Cookie. Because cookie is something. It sounds like, oh, what do you want? A cookie? Yeah, here you go. That's something everybody can have.
Hey, Big Bone. I can't say this online, but we got to get together. You got to remember that if somebody from your organization here was to say that to me, that would start up a big joke. Do you want about if they say, Lottie, do you want a cookie? We got to talk, bro. We got
yeah. Look. Yeah, we definitely got to have a conversation. But that's just a me thing. Right. But I hear people say it, and again, like my whole thing, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier. Tradition, protocol, etiquette. You know, MC, how we move as not just one percenters, but bikers in general on the set. In particular, the black side of the set, right? I'm real conscientious. I was raised a certain way, whereas when you got a good tan, like we used to say sometimes in my family, when you got a good tan, you got to do things a little bit better. You got to be a cut above the rest. You know, you got to do things twice as good to get half as far. So you are always on your game. So as it relates to this biker thing, you know, I believe, yes, embrace history, tradition, and protocol. So going back to the original subject, so if there is a support club that wants to disassociate themselves, the how they do it is important, and let me address that first. But I think the why is more important. But the how they would do it is this: it's going to vary completely from one area to the other. According to the description, it's like the description that you wrote, Black Dragon, sounds like some gang stuff where you got to be jumped in and jumped out, blood in, blood out. And in real life, that's just not the case. Because when you leave a motorcycle club, and we all know guys who joined the club and then for whatever reason got out of the club. And I can tell you, I could give you $1,000 for every single time somebody went to leave a club and they had to be beat up the same way they got beat up to get in the club. It don't happen. That makes good TV. It's sexy, right? It's sexy, but it's not a real thing. Now I'm not saying that there's not some static that might happen when a club doesn't want to be under the support anymore. But the way to do it is, like you said, hey, everybody, lay your rags down. Lay your rags down, do everything properly. There's a procedure. So if in fact you had to do that, every single individual is going to lay their rags down, because if one of them don't, then that club is still up and running. That's just the last member of that club. If you got 15 guys in the club, 13 of them say we're out, well, those last 2 guys are the foundation of that club now, and it's up to them to start rebuilding if they're in fact allowed to. And when I say lay their rags down, I'm talking, you know, turn them in. Like, nah, y'all ain't keeping that. That goes to the dominant, because the set is still there, even if y'all are not.
So what if we want to leave with our? What if we want to leave, but we're going to keep our club? We're leaving. We're putting down our cookie, but we're not leaving.
Okay, gotcha. So what you're describing is a club that is leaving. What are they leaving? They're leaving the association of the dominant. Now, that's not an impossibility. It's something that has occurred before, but in many occasions, I've seen one just recently, whereas it was done in an amicable fashion, because the benefit that club received from being a support club, and the benefit that the dominant received from them being a support club had changed. The relationship had changed. The status of that support club had changed. So they no longer need to be a support club. So you got to ask yourself the question, why would a club care to be a support club in the first place? Because every club that gets blessed by the dominant is not a support club. That's just, you know, something that people say, but it's not true. So there's many 99 clubs that are blessed by one club, but there might only be 4 or 5 support clubs, but there's 60 clubs in that AO in that area. So becoming a support club in a lot of places, if the set is proper, that's an honor in a lot of occasions. Now, if you are forcing somebody to be a support club, and I'm not saying that's going on rampantly or whatever, but if you're forcing somebody to be a support club, you're already wrong. The whole situation is wrong, because how are you going to force somebody to show you legitimate support?
Right.
It's built in the name,
right?
Support club. So, having said that, how do you do it? You do it respectfully. There's conversations. Do it like grown men do. Why you would do it? Let's say that support club that started off in, I don't know, 1990 was 6 guys, and they said, hey, we're trying to get going. We've had a couple of issues with some other clubs, this, that, another thing. We want to be able to move and grow. We dig y'all. We're cool. We used to be cool before so-and-so was in the club. We're going to be a support club to you guys because we move like y'all. We all get along. Flash forward to 2025, that same club with 6 members that had 6 members in 1990 now has 22 chapters across the country, and they got 1,000 members. Now, how are they still supposed to be? And let's say they got good relationships everywhere. Well, they're a different club now, aren't they?
They are.
The relationship is still solid. Why would it be an issue for them to separate? And sometimes, just like in any family, sometimes you got to get out your mama's house. And that's all I'm saying. So when I read the description, and this is not, the goal was not to, let me rip them a new one. No, it ain't like that. But what I'm saying is, let me pull it up so I can tell you. It said,
y'all know I got that from, right?
You see what I'm saying? It's like
it was an AI description.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But once you're in, the rules change. Mandatory runs, short. So here's the thing: mandatory runs. Why are you in a motorcycle club if you don't want to ride it? So mandatory stuff, and I'll address that as well. No, go ahead.
But the point of order is, yeah, you're in your club for mandatory rides. A lot of times when you join up as a support club, you don't know that you got mandatory rides with them. So
wait, but I digress. Here's the thing: when a club becomes a support club, I'm talking straight away. Notice my vernacular, straight away. One of the first questions that pretty much everybody asks is, "Oh, well, what do we got to do?" I can't tell you how many times I've been asked that by guys who were talking about becoming a support club, or that were a support club, or a new member in a support club. So what do we got to do? What's our obligation? And I might say, hey, we got a thing that everybody does, not you guys. We ain't singling you guys out. The set, everybody here, we do, like, for example, breakout. Everybody does breakout. And if you don't do breakout, I'm saying in your own club, forget about me. Your own club is going to be like, hey, look, breakout is coming. And everybody knows the reason for breakout. If you don't, I got a podcast that I did on the breakout that explains why it exists. But in your own club, you don't show up for breakout, you don't got to worry about me. Your own club is going to be addressing that. Now, when breakout happens as a community with the dominant, the support clubs, a variety of 99 clubs, what's at the end of the breakout? Big ass party. Yeah, you're supposed to be there, but we're also doing a color count. That happens at breakout. We're doing a color count to make sure you are who you say you are. You say you're a club, but you got 3 members and 1 bike? No, you're not. That's checks and balances.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, that's checks and balances. So guess what? That's not nobody putting their foot on your neck. That is maintaining standards in the MC community. That's all that is. So yeah, there are some things that when we say mandatory, guess what? Nobody put a gun to your head and said you got to put on that cookie, right? But if you do, as a grown man, you're saying by agreeing to be a support club member, I'm agreeing to this set of standards. And so you agreed to that on day 1, not on day 50 when you didn't know nothing about it.
You know what I was going to say before Big Bone, because you said you didn't hear before you came on. Me and Black Dragon was going back and forth, and he was saying, "Well, how would you get out?" And exactly, I kid you not, you just used a larger number that I use. That's exactly what I said. When we first came in, we was one chapter, 5 members, blah, blah, blah. Years down the line, we got 5 different chapters, 5 different states, and maybe we grew up. Now we want to do things, and we go to that same dominant, and sit down as men and talk. See, Black Dragon, what I was talking about.
See, but it sounds sexier. It sounds sexier to say that oh, it was bombs bursting in the air and fighting.
But you can't say that bombs don't burst in there either, though. You can't say because I've been around a long time.
Yeah,
and I've seen it where it hasn't been such a nice conversation whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
but you got to take all of the things that happen everywhere and then come to a consensus. Well, that may happen there, that may not happen that time, but it doesn't happen all the time.
And a lot of times it's individuals. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
A lot of times what we're talking about, when there are those, the rare occasion where there's some sort of a dusting up or falling out or whichever like that, 9 times out of 10, it's irreconcilable differences between a couple of individuals. The majority of the time, that's what it is. This is very rarely because the writing's on the wall. When you see a club, and we know of many of them, many clubs started out on day one in a certain area where they were, in fact, without getting, well, I ain't gonna call no names, but certain clubs got started not as a support club, but under the banner of a certain dominant that blessed them. And they were loosely associated or affiliated with whoever that dominant was. That's who they rode with. That's who they hung out with. That's whose clubhouse they went to. That's whose cousin they was dating. All of that, right? And then along comes, X number or more members over a period of time, and so on and so on. And like that commercial goes, and I told a friend, and then he told a friend, and so on and so on and so on. That's what happens with motorcycle clubs. So when that happens, now check this. I know of a certain club from up north in New York. When they got started, they was under 81, because a bunch of the cats, it's a real club. In the late 80s, they had a big raid in New York, where New York was going after. They was doing all of that RICO stuff in early 90s, actually. They was doing all that RICO stuff. And in the process, they went after a bunch of motorcycle clubs. Well, they went after the motorcycle clubs. 81 got swept up in a big way. They had like 60 81s that got arrested and a bunch of them went to prison. At the same exact time, they was working on drug cases. So a bunch of Iñeta, ¿cómo se dice? Iñeta y ¿cómo se dice? Los hombres que dice amor de rey. What do you call them guys? The Latin Kings.
You can't break out. You can't break out into a whole different language on us, bro.
He did that. I was like,
you can't be speaking in your second language on the show, bro. You got to stay with the.
Sorry, I was trying to make myself remember, but I was trying to,
you can't
jog my memory. But yeah,
break out into the whole separate language on the.
Latin Kings.
That
went to a bunch of Latin Kings went to prison with a bunch of Hell's Angels. Now, here's what happened. The Hell's Angels are in prison, by prison standards, living pretty good. Why? Because their chapters are holding them down. They don't got to worry about no commissary money. They don't got to worry about somebody watching their back, because they're watching each other's back, and they all eating pretty good, and they doing how they do. They're already set up in such a fashion. The infrastructure of living well in prison was already established because they came from a motorcycle club. Now, these other guys who basically street gang guys, they go in there, maybe their abuela breaks them off every now and then. Maybe if their baby mama ain't left them, she might hit them up in the commissary a little something. They might get some visits here and there, but when they go to prison, they kind of get in where they fit in type of thing, just like any other civilian. But all these guys go to prison together. So all of these Iñetas and Dagan Latin Kings are watching these 81s that they got locked up with, and yo, these guys are moving different. They're living different. Everything with them is different. It's organized. It's brotherhood and da 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 da. What happens after 5, 7, 10, 15 years of being locked up with these guys? What do you want to do when you get out? First thing they want to do, yo, I want to join the Hells Angels. You can't. Why not? You're not white. I mean, you're something other than white. You can't join the Hells Angels. But I tell you what you can do. You can go buy a motorcycle, go get you a motorcycle, start a club, and we'll bless your ass. That's exactly what happened with this certain particular club. Now, that club got up and running, thriving in New York, was in all 5 boroughs, and everything was groovy until they came to Florida. Guess who's not in Florida?
HA.
So when them cats came down here with them cross hammers, like when the 81 they do something cool, 81, boom, here's this cross hammer, rock that shit on your doggone rags and everything. When they come to Florida talking about, hey, we trying to get set up, first thing, no, lose them cross hammers, take off them rags. We don't do that 81 stuff here. No. We're not here representing 81. We're trying to do our own thing. Mm-hmm. But wait a minute. There's a different dominant in New York. Yeah, but they're not a support club. They just have to deal with a different dominant in New York. They learned so much that they learned that too. Mm-hmm. So now they're in Florida. How do we get going in Florida? Well, let's take a while to make sure you are who you say you are. Lose them cross hammers. Lost the cross hammers. You need to move like this. Let's figure out who you are. Now, flash forward a number of years. Hey, they up and running, been up and running, not just here in Florida and New York, but several states. They're a pretty influential club. I'm not saying who they are, but a pretty influential club who is in areas with different dominance in every single state that they're in. They ain't never been a support club to nobody, but they deal with who they deal with, where they deal with those folks. And what they don't do, when they brothers come from New York, what they don't do is they don't bring no 81 stuff down here in Florida. When the brothers here, when their brothers in Florida go up to New York to visit the mother chapter, they don't bring no Florida stuff up there. Never been a support club. They don't got nobody to leave. The only thing they have to do is maintain the relationships that they have where they are.
Sounds like every national 99 to me.
Yeah, right. That's kind of my point. That's kind of how it is, maintaining relationships.
Sounds like every national 99 to me. If you're national, it's different things in different places, and that's how it rolls. Guys, we are at an hour and have gone over it, so we're an hour and 7 minutes. We got to get out of here, but this is a great conversation we could have tomorrow or later on. I bring this conversation back up, and I think it's really awesome. I'm
at 6 minutes. I don't know this hour stuff. I'm at 6 minutes.
He said he had 6 minutes.
No, I'm kidding.
We two are at an hour and
7 minutes.
And 7 minutes. So we must run. Bone, I love you to death, man. You know this. And I'm gonna call you as soon as the show's over, because we got some catching up to do anyway.
Right. Send me somebody number. Send me somebody number.
Thing right quick. HB 429. Don't forget about it. Go to change.org and do fight HB like Hotel Bravo 429er. Sign that petition if you haven't done it. Otherwise, check me out on Sundays on the Big Boneyard. You can find me on YouTube as the Big Boneyard Biker Podcast. Check me out because I'm going to be talking about that stuff.
What is it now?
It's change.org. And then when you go to change.org, just search for fight, like a fist fight, fight HB 429. Because it's a big deal. We've got a huge ride that's coming up in February where everybody and their mother from different folks from all across the country are going to be doing this ride to Tallahassee to let our voices be heard about HB 429. We've got some nice politicians, some senators and congressmen that's going to take some time out to chit chat with us. And we've been strategizing every day to stop this bill, because this is the bill that's going to put motorcycle clubs out of business. This is going to put motorcycle clubs out of business because they'll do it in Florida. If they get away with it in Florida, it will be coming to a neighborhood near you.
If they do it in Florida, it's definitely coming to Texas.
Oh, good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because those
Yes,
two
sir.
guys, like they like to sleep together. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Look,
Sorry, I didn't mean
Hot,
to
Hot
sleep
Wheels,
together.
Hot Wheels, and Racist Ron.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, Racist
like-
Ron DeSantis and Hot Wheels Greg Abbott.
Mhm.
Them
Trying to
guys
get
love
rid of
each
Hot
other.
Wheels.
And don't forget about Georgia. Don't forget about Georgia. Georgia's
What's
Georgia's
going on
in
in
the
Georgia? What's going on in Georgia?
that the Attorney General of Georgia loves Ron DeSantis, and he thinks Greg Abbott is his stepdaddy.
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever Florida and Georgia do, or excuse me, whatever Florida and Texas do, Georgia wants to do it bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop 429. That's for damn sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, thank y'all.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
Hit
you.
me up.
Yo,
Sir.
yeah. Shoot.
I'll
I
send you his number.
text you.
Today.
I hit you in the inbox.
I'll send you his number. All right.
Right, y'all.
All right.
Okay, preacher, let's get you up out of here, my man.
All right.
This was a good conversation. We got to finish it. So, all right, here we go. And this is you. Get you your and
I remember this one kid I met.
Yo, what's up, everyone? This is your boy Logic over here. Keep it logical. We had a great conversation. I'm glad y'all chimed in. I'm glad. Hey, look, before you leave, hit that like button. We need those likes to go up. If you out here riding, we got beautiful weather out here so far in the Metroplex. When you ride, I don't care if you ride on 2s, 3s, in your car, truck, whatever. Ride hard, ride safe, and always ride on faith and keep it logical. Peace.
peace. Hey, and it's your boy Black Dragon. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I did sign that. I think I signed that a long time ago. A Physique. I signed that a long time ago, but I was bringing it up for everybody else. Listen, I want to thank you guys for. We're already this is crazy. We're already a #1 top-selling book. My brand new book that you can get on Amazon, Kindle, and after today, you'll be able to get it on blackdragonsgear.com. So if we go type in Robert's Rules for Motorcycle Clubs, this is my newest book, Robert's Rules for Motorcycle Clubs. And it has both of my covers up here. So I got 2 covers for whoever, whichever cover you want, you can get. So there's a cover with a white club on it and a cover with a black club on it. And I guess I got to do a Hispanic club cover too. But anyway, this is Robert's Rules for Motorcycle Clubs. It is now a #1 top seller on Kindle and Amazon. And thank you guys for doing that for me. I really do appreciate it. This is the latest book in the Motorcycle Club series, the Motorcycle Club Bible series, How to Run Your Motorcycle Club. There are 9 books in this series so far, and this book, the Robert's Rules for Motorcycle Clubs, is in motorcycle clubs, church isn't just a meeting. It's where decisions are made, brotherhood is tested, and the club's future is shaped. Too often, passions turn into chaos, shouting matches, rushed votes, politics, and resentment that tears clubs apart. Robert's Rules of Order for Motorcycle Clubs, Running Church the Right Way, changes that. Written by Black Dragon, a former national president with nearly 40 years in the life, this book adapts the proven parliamentary system of Robert's Rules specifically for motorcycle clubs. You'll learn how to run fair, efficient meetings with clear structure, quorum, professional debate, proper motion, secret ballots for sensitive votes, and the SAA enforcing respect without fists. No more who yells loudest wins, no more illegitimate decisions or kangaroo courts, just real respect, real participation, and real communication, the foundation of lasting brotherhood. Whether you're a president, sergeant at arms, or full patch, tired of drama, this book gives you the tools to make church something all the brothers can respect again. This is my newest book, and available on Amazon Kindle, and soon to it'll be on blackdragonsgear.com probably within an hour. So absolutely, thank you guys for all the support, and we have to deport these types back to Africa. Good luck. Good luck. So anyway, man, that's a hateful guy. I was told oh man, I'm not even going to follow that. Okay, so I was trying to answer some of these last comments, and they turned racist on me. So whatever. Anyway, that's it today. Appreciate it. Okay, here's a great comment to end on. Love the show. I learned so much, especially stuff outside my region. Yeah, we'll in on that. Yeah. All right, I'm your boy Black Dragon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents down in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny. And you guys, listen, try to find a way to treat somebody in your motorcycle club life like solid pieces of irreplaceable gold, and you'll have a much better motorcycle club experience. Trust me on this one. All right. Peace.